What is credit and how do we build it? I feel like this is such a huge question among young adults and teenagers. I personally started building my credit when I was a senior in high school, and many people have started way before that, and some people don't start until later. But for me, I had a huge eye-opener when I was looking at schools and filling out my FAFSA and realized that, hey, I'm an independent student, meaning my parents don't have an influence on my FAFSA and I might have to get a private loan. Well, in order to get a private loan, you either need someone with good credit or you need a cosigner. I didn't have either. I had zero credit and I didn't have someone to cosign for me. So I took matters into my own hands and started building my credit. I will explain how later. But a credit score, or your credit in general, is a number between 300 and 850. This number represents how good of a candidate you are to lenders. So a number above 800 is exceptional. Between 740 and 799, that's very good. Between 670 and 739 is good. Me having my credit being built for about 2 years, that's where I sit. 580 to 669 is fair, and less than 580 is poor credit. So you can have a very large variety in that. And I found this on FICO Score. This is most of the time what lenders use to see your credit. They use FICO. Having no credit or bad credit can affect you in very negative ways. So for me, like I mentioned, if I were to have no credit, I couldn't get a private loan, meaning that I either would have to do a payment plan through the school, which I might not be able to afford, or I wouldn't have been able to get a private loan. Luckily, I was able to get scholarships that assisted me throughout this. So according to Wells Fargo and All Credit, this is how your credit is checked. There are a few different things that affect your credit score. So the biggest thing that affects your credit is based on your payment history. So 35% of your overall score is based on your payment history. So you do not want to miss any payments, and they keep track of that for 7 years. 30% is based on your current debts. So if you have loans or how much debt you have within that credit, that's 30% of your score. 15% is determined by credit history. So if you have bad credit previously, it can affect your current history. 10% is for new credit applications. So when you apply for a new credit card, it'll dock you. And 10% is types of current credits. So an installment loan for school is listed on mine, and then I also have a revolving account, which is my current credit card. So how do you build credit? For me, not knowing anything about it, I opened a secured card with Discover, and you put a deposit down and you keep that deposit until you get a credit score, and then they give you the money back and you start building your credit. Luckily, for building credit, starting the way I did, it only takes 6 months to build credit. Granted, that credit score is not going to be exceptional. That credit score is going to be kind of like mine. I think I started with a 686 because I didn't miss any payments and I always paid on time. Another way you can do it is by taking out a loan and paying off that loan, or if you have parents that have credit cards, they can put you as an authorized user and build your own credit. So good credit in your future can get you, like I said, private loans. You can buy a car and you can buy a house. When you get a loan on a car or mortgage rates for a house, you have to ask, basically. You have to ask a lender. And they're not going to give you a loan unless you have a decent credit score, because they don't trust that you'll pay it back if you don't have a good score. So overall, having credit has a lot of benefits for you. There's much that I didn't talk about because I don't have a lot of time, but overall, having a good credit score when you're young and having that history and that background can really influence a positive outlook on your future financial history.